Let's talk about Reading Festival. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos, a little let's talk about. But I have been compiling a list of all of the people that I think may or may not be playing that TBC slot at Reading Festival this year. So without further ado, this is my bands that are playing that TBC slot on the Radio 1 stage. Who is and who isn't? Let's start with the who isn't. I think that's probably a good place because I think there's a big list of people that it could be, but I think it's probably good if we talk about who I don't think it is. The first on that list is Bring Me The Horizon. Bring Me The Horizon played the Secret set last year at Reading and Leeds. They had a really great turnout for that. And there was lots of talk about them headlining this year's festival. So I'm not quite sure why they weren't playing. I wonder whether or not they may be doing the other stage at Glastonbury. I think we've got the download names, they're not on there. So I'm not too sure. They're already headlining All Points East and they're curating that festival. So I don't see them headlining that festival and then headlining the Radio 1 stage at Reading and Leeds. But maybe. But I just don't think it will be. The second is Catfish And The Bottlemen. Catfish And The Bottlemen for me was an easy win for Reading and Leeds this year. They haven't played since 2014, 2015, which has been a bit of a shocker for me. You know, as soon as they released that second album, I thought that was it. We're going to see them all the time. But they haven't been back. So when I heard that they were releasing Longshot and a new album this year, I thought they were ripe for the picking when it came to playing Reading and Leeds. That they would have fit onto that Radio 1 slot perfectly. But then they announced this week that they're headlining Transmit Festival in Glasgow. Is it Glasgow? In Scotland. Again, I don't see them headlining a major festival and then headlining the Radio 1 stage. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'm not sure it's not out of the question. I don't see it happening somehow. Shame, I know, but we'll just have to wait until they headline the main stage. Next year, when the Maccabees come out of retirement, along with Bombay Bicycle Club and Foals, we'll also have Catfish headline the festival. That's going to be an amazing year next year. The last on my who it's not list is Foals. Foals are a band that are back and they're releasing new music and everything they release is incredible. On the Luna came out last week and I love it. It's the strangest, most wonderful song. They headlined in 2016. I don't think that's ever happened where someone's gone from a headline slot to headlining the Radio 1 stage. I mean, it's not out of the realms of possible, but I would imagine they're more likely to headline the other stage at Glastonbury. We'll see, maybe next year, but not this year. So that goes on to who it could be. That TBC slot, who could that be reserved for? And I've got 6 names that I think that are all contenders and are quite highly likely. And the first one I want to talk about is Friendly Fires. Friendly Fires, I mentioned them before as being the Radio 1 headliners in a previous video. That got quite a lot of love there. They had 2 singles last year. I'm sure they're due for another album this year. They've played all the stages, I think, at Reading now that they could. So they've played Festival Public, main stage, and the Radio 1. They came and did the surprise guest for Disclosure when they played the Radio 1 stage. It's time for them to come back, and I can see them coming back and headlining the Radio 1 stage and it just being epic. So they're a possibility, although there is this kind of problem of would they come back and would they be big enough? Would they come back and would they be too much for a clash with 1975 fans? I don't know. Next on that list is Jake Bugg. Jake Bugg is someone who's a bit of a hero for Reading and Leeds. He's played multiple times. I've seen him on the introducing stage, on the main stage, in the Radio 1 tent. He's played everywhere. He announced this week that he's back and he's releasing new music this year. Perhaps that's why it's a TBC, because it's yet to be announced. That's why it could be a good reason as to why Jake Bugg has not been announced to play that slot. Another act, a bit of a weird one, is M83. Now they have this huge following around the world, and I don't know if they've ever played Reading. I've certainly never seen them. Whether they have or not, I don't know. They're quite a big band, and they're kind of Indian alternative, and I could see them playing the Radio 1 stage quite nicely. They got new music out that came out a few weeks ago, so possible. I put it on the list, I saw it, I thought, oh, maybe M83. Now we're going into my top 3 of who I think it is. And I'm going to start that with The Streets. Mike Skinner retired The Streets at Reading Festival in 2010, just before Muse played on that. No, it wasn't 2010, it was 2011. He had co-headlined with too many DJs on the Radio 1 stage. and fit and close the streets down for good, and then he came back. I think he might come back and play Reading and Leeds. That slot would be perfect for him. It would go nicely against 1975, and I would really struggle to decide who I would go see at that point. I'm not going to lie. Next are a band who have just announced they're going to be releasing new music this year, and that's Two Door Cinema Club. Two Door Cinema Club are absolute heroes of Reading Festival. I remember them sharing the information that when they measure the pressure on the barrier at the front, and Two Door Cinema Club currently own the record for that. They've played the main stage a couple of times since. They're a very, very, very good live band. Lots and lots of energy, and with this album, they could work their way up to that slot quite comfortably. So, Two Door Cinema Club, headline on the Friday night at Reading, Sunday at Leeds. I think that'd be brilliant. Or is it Saturday at Leeds? Saturday at Leeds. And the final TBC slot potential is someone who I just want it to be, and that's Bombay Bicycle Club. They last played on the Radio 1 stage in, when was it? 2016 maybe? 2013? They were due to headline, but ended up going for the second slot down because they knew they were going to clash with Eminem, I think. That's a rumour. Made it up. But they've just announced that they've come back off a hiatus and they're back in the studio. They're going to be playing some shows towards the end of the year. I'd love it to be announced that they're playing that slot. That would be so good. If not, I'll take a secret set as well. That would also be amazing. They're one of my favourite bands. I don't think they've ever released a song I don't absolutely love, except for that kind of acoustic-y album that I was not really a big fan of. But everything else, spot on. Really big fan of Mr. Jukes and the work that he did last year before. So I'm really intrigued to see who will fill that slot. Bombay could be that band. I think it would work really well. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. Perhaps it's just people wishful thinking. What do you think? Who do you think will headline the Radio 1 stage on the Friday/Saturday night? That TBC slot is definitely one that's standing out. Is there someone that I've missed? I've only put 9 names there, so I'm sure there are many others that haven't been announced to play this year's Reading that is a bit of a shocker. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye.